Hello, this is Dr. Dennis Bielfeldt of the Christ School of Theology. I have the pleasure today to be talking to you about medieval semantic theory. And we have been doing a little reflection about medieval semantic theory, basically in the 11th and 12th centuries, and the 13th, we're in there as well. As we move to the 14th century, we undergo a development, and it is Occam, William of Occam, who really gives us an extensionalist read of significare. Now you're saying, well, what's an extensionalist read of significare? And I could say, well, go back 47 videos ago and you'll see I made a very clear distinction between intension and extension. But very briefly here, a word's extension is that to which the word applies, okay? So the extension of Scandinavian countries is this set containing these members, which are, right, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Iceland, right? That's the extension of the term Scandinavian country. The intension would give the sense of, if you will, Scandinavian country, and in some theories of semantics, it is that by which the extension is determined. Okay, so you could say that the intention of the Scandinavian countries, you could maybe lay that out in the longitudinal and latitudinal way. But the idea would be if you had a clear intention or sense to Scandinavian countries, it would pick out only and all of those countries, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. So, I've talked about significatio before, and significatio is this causal psychological notion that comes with a word. If I say a word, it has a certain significance. It causes the mind to think something. And this is much closer to our notion of an intention than an extension, although it's not merely an intention, because when we talk about intentions or senses in contemporary semantic theory, we don't normally mean by that as something that retains a causal overtone, okay? So anyway, if we understand significatio extensionally, then we're going to be tending to understand it in terms of the class of things to which the term applies. Okay. So in an extensional understanding, what is signified by a term are the things of which it can truly be predicated, not the form or property they share. See? And of course for Occam, he is a nominalist, and Occam holds only to the ontological status of individuals and then the qualities these individuals have. By the 14th century, suppositio and significare dominate the discussion in general. Ampliatio and restrictio are functions of suppositio, and copulatio and relatio attached to suppositio as well. Distributio is taken care of under the category of distributive supposition that we'll talk about. Okay, now just again to make very clear that everyone understands, there we have our term significatio. It's a property of terms, of a term prior to its use or occurrences. Other properties are thought to be dependent upon signification. And so then the question becomes, do words signify concepts or things? And medieval thinkers generally assumed that they signify concepts. So really what Occam is doing here is a very big thing. Because coming out of Aristotle through Boethius, we always have the idea that a word signifies by virtue of the concept, right? A word signifies a concept, and by virtue of this, a reference is established. But as we move into Aristotle, or not Aristotle, for heaven's sakes, not Aristotle, Occam, we move away from this. And we don't need that intermediary concept by which singular reference is established. Well, everyone talking about significatio claimed Aristotle as its authority. In the 13th century, the view was that a term signified a concept, which then was a sign of the thing. So a term like sheep would signify the concept of sheep, which was itself a sign of an individual sheep. Hence, a term could be a sign of a sign. It signifies the concept immediately, right? And the thing immediately. Homo, which in Latin is the generic term for human being. Homo signifies the concept human being, which itself signifies the form or the secondary substance of human being. Homo could supposit for Socrates, but here not signify Socrates. Okay? When we get to Occam, then this is different. But here, the supposition of Socrates is determined, but the form signifies the concept. I mean, the term signifies the concept, which itself signifies the form in the thing. And it's by virtue of that that the individual reference is made. Now, reference did not track exactly with suppositio because there were many different modi suppositionem. Suppositionem. There we go. There are many different modes of supposition. In material supposition, a term stands for the linguistic term itself. In simple supposition, the term stands for the universal or the form it signifies, or more deflationarily, it could signify, supposit for what it signifies. And Occam thought that simple supposition applied to the mental act to which it is subordinated. So we've so far talked about material supposition and simple supposition, but the most important kind of supposition in the Middle Ages was personal supposition. So let's get them all on the board. Personal, material, and simple supposition. Personal supposition is the standard case of supposition. Here the word is standing for an ordinary object, or its supposition, of which the term is accidentally predicated. So here, like the word homo would supposit for a human being. Here, the word homo would supposit for the word homo, right? And here, the word homo would supposit for the form of homo in a homo, right? So that's how that works. So personal supposition, simple supposition, and material supposition. Of course, you love the word simple supposition because there were so many different views of this. It's clearly not simple at all. But anyway, that's the language that we have. And I will come back next time and I'll give you a couple arguments and show you how this distinction between kinds of supposition allow us to clear up some logical problems. So you come right on back because this is getting exciting. I'm Dr. Dennis Bielfeldt of the Christ School of Theology. Thank you.